right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's who you call God in Jesus Christ. That's their names in the Hebrew. Yahweh being He is, or He is, and His Son Yahushai meaning He deliverer or He salvation. You know, give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutation to the elect brethren out there risking their lives in freedom to push this word in sincerity and truth. You know, we are the Hebrew Israelites. You know, the Negroes being so-called Judah, Benjamin being the West Indians, Levi being the Haitians, Zebulon being Guatemala, the Panama, and so on and so forth. You know, these are our people. We come out here to preach the elect of those nations, to tell them that who you know as God in Jesus Christ, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, He's coming to save these people, the elect of those people. You know, and we also come out here to preach the downfall of America, because the downfall of America will happen in your lifetime. You know. Can you get Amos 9 and 8? Yeah. You know, because America is going to be destroyed in your lifetime by thermonuclear fire, by various other countries that's going to shoot missiles upon this place. You know.
This is Amos 9 verse 8. It says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will."
Run that back.
This is Amos 9 and 8. "Behold, the eyes of Yahweh power are upon the sinful kingdom."
Yes, yeah, the eyes of Yahweh is upon the sinful kingdom. The sinful kingdom is America. You know, and the eyes of the Lord are the angels. And they're constantly taking report of the wicked sins that come that happens in this abominable land. You know? Go ahead.
"And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth."
Yeah, and the Lord said He's going to destroy America off the face of the earth. How He's going to destroy it? He's going to destroy it by thermonuclear fire, which is the second death. Because the first death was the Most High. The Most High God destroyed the earth by water. This time He's going to destroy the earth by fire. You know?
Finish it.
Yeah.
"Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh."
Yeah, but the Lord said He's not going to utterly destroy the house of Jacob. The house of Jacob is the 12 sons of Jacob, which is also known as Israel. Because we are the Israelites, the biblical Israelites spoken of in the Bible. And the Lord is coming, like I said earlier, the Lord is coming to save the elect of those people. You know?
Yeah. It says Malachi 4 verse 1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch."
Read that again.
Malachi 4:1 says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble."
Yeah, it said the day of the Lord shall burn as an oven. You know how that's going to happen? That's going to happen by these various other countries shooting thermonuclear missiles upon America. You know, that's that day that is spoken of in Malachi 4 verse 1. Go ahead. Yes, and it said, read that about the proud.
It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble."
Yeah, it said all the proud, yea, and all of them that do wickedly shall be stubble. Stubble is basically the aftermath of a fire. You know, America is going to be the biggest desert on the planet Earth after the day of the Lord, which is going to happen by thermonuclear fire. You know, and it mentioned the proud. The proud is the so-called white man, which is the biblical Edomites. You know, because you're a very, very proud nation, thinking that you can.
You want a scripture? Tell this brother.
Come, Shalaki. Read that again. I lost my thought.
"For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble."
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it mentioned the proud, because like I was saying, you so-called Edomites, you Edomites, so-called white men, you a very proud nation, thinking that you could get away with the atrocities that you've done unto the children of Israel, which is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, the Lord didn't forget about that. You know, you get Isaiah 2 and 11, 2 and 10. You know, the Most High God and His Son, who you know as Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, He didn't forget about the atrocities you've done unto the children of Israel. You know, go ahead.
This is Isaiah 2, verse 10. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for fear of Yahweh.
No, 2 and 11.
2 and 11, it's a lot. It says, Isaiah 2 and 11, the lofty looks of man shall be humble, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day.
Yeah, it said the lofty looks of man shall be bowed down.
Yeah.
It said bowed. Yeah, it shall be bowed down. How's that gonna happen? That's gonna happen when the economy collapses. That's gonna happen by the way of martial law, and ultimately, it's gonna happen by the way of thermonuclear missiles. When thermonuclear missiles hit America, your precious America, because America has never been touched, you know, by warfare. But it will be touched in your lifetime by thermonuclear fire, you know? Let's read that again. Read that from top. Yeah.
Isaiah 2 and 11 says, the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day.
Yeah, it said, and it said the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And it said the lofty looks of man shall be bowed down. Once you realize this American dream was just an illusion, you know, and basically what you put your faith in collapses, you know, then you're gonna be bowed down. Your proud looks, you know, the Lord is gonna turn those smiles into frowns pretty soon, you know.
Got precept. This is Jeremiah 10 verse 10. It says, but the Lord is the true power. He is the living power and an everlasting king. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nation shall not be able to abide his indignation. The word indignation means righteous anger. At the wrath of the Lord, at the Lord's anger, none of these nations are going to be able to abide the Lord's wrath, man. They're not going to be able to stand. They're not going to have no type of weapon that's going to, you know, be able to overcome the wrath of the Heavenly Father, to prevent it, you know, to throw it off, you know, because this thing has been ordained of the Heavenly Father, man. The destruction to come. Got it.
This is Isaiah 66, verse 15. It says, for behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. Verse 16, for by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many.
Read that again.
Verse 15, for behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
Yeah, because the one, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is about to destroy this place by thermonuclear fire and concentrated fire by the chariots of God, which you call UFOs, you know? That's how the Lord is going to destroy this place, America. Go ahead.
To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
You know, because we've been coming out here, you know, starting with the apostles for years, you know? They've been coming out here for years telling you to change your ways, talking about our people, but you didn't want to take heed. You told us that men couldn't judge you. So now the Lord is going to rebuke you. The Lord is going to judge you now. And the Lord is going to judge you by way of thermonuclear missiles, you know, martial law, you know, cannibalism, you know, because all those atrocities is coming here to America, you know. Go ahead.
Verse 16, for by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Yeah, it said, and the slain of the Lord shall be many, you know? Because there's going to be tens of thousands and thousands of bodies laid here in the streets, you know? By way of also World War III, you know? It's going to be thousands of people that die in World War III, you know? The slain of the Lord shall be many, you know? You got something?
Yeah, man, basically, you know, a great suffering is coming to this society, man. You know, these people having fun out here, man. But, you know, they're not thinking about the time of need, the time of the suffering to come, you know? Because they're in a peaceful place, man. They're enjoying mirth, you know?
Okay.
You know, the scriptures say a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, while the simple pass on and are punished. Now, the prudent man looks towards the future, man. You know? Proving that the American people, they're not a prudent people, man. Because if they knew what was to come, they'd be diligent and watching, you know.
Yeah, well, that's why the law is That's why the Lord is still important. It still holds weight, because the scripture says what? It says them that dwell in the Lord. You know, let's get that real quick. No. It's in Sirach. I think it's 44, is it? You know, 30. Yeah, 39. I'll read it. Them right here. This is Sirach 39:1. Where he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. And that's the point right there. Because if you understand the law, you understand there's repercussions for your actions. And that's therefore able to let you prophesy. Because the things of old, the things that happened of old, were the warnings to show what would happen if you do commit the same actions in the future. So if you dwell on the law, if your mind is on the law, America's mind is not on the law of the Lord. So therefore we understand what's going to happen to it. They don't, because they don't understand repercussions. You know? Let me get something else real quick. This is right. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imagination, which ye have neglected the righteousness and have forsaken the Lord. See, he has forsaken the Lord because he doesn't want to hearken unto the words of the Lord. He doesn't want to hearken unto the words of the priest, which the priest will tell you what's right and what's wrong. So guess what? By your own imaginations, because you didn't want to hearken unto the priest, you wanted to do whatever you wanted to do. You wanted to create all these laws and say that a man can do whatever he wants. Guess what? Those same actions, if you will, going to have repercussions for them according to their works. So you're going to have people dying of AIDS, dying of different diseases, you know. You're going to have men, adulterers being put to death by the man that actually was committed, who had adultery committed on him. You know, so these same, you want people going to die of heart attacks, high blood pressure. Why? Because they want to eat abominable foods. Go ahead.
This is Psalms 119. It says, blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of Yahweh. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity, they walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments. I will praise thee with an uprightness of heart. When I shall have learned thy righteous judgments, I will keep thy statutes. Forsake me not utterly.
Read the first verse again.
It says, blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of Yahweh.
Yeah, it said, blessed are they, are the undefiled that walks in the way of Yahweh. You know, that's the elect. You know, because like it says, Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart. You know, the elect is not going to be defiled with the fornication of this place, the spiritual fornication that's going on, you know, with Israel and Babylon. You know, the elect is not going to partake in that. Go ahead.
Verse 2 says, blessed are they.
Because the elect is the only people that's going to be saved for the destruction that's destined for Babylon and various other parts of the earth. You know, it's only the elect that's going to be saved. You know. Go ahead.
Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with the whole heart.
Go ahead.
Verse 3, they also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways.
Yeah, read that verse again.
Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways.
Yeah, that's the part I wanted to touch on. It said they do no iniquity. Because through Yahweh Shai, the blood of Yahweh Shai, you know, we the elect is made blameless, you know. Lord willing, we be those men, you know. The elect is made blameless, you know, through Yahweh Shai. That's why the elect is worthy to be saved, through Yahweh Shai, you know. Go ahead.
Verse 4, thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. oh, that my ways were directed to keep my statutes, then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments.
Read that precept part again.
Verse 4. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently.
Yeah, it said, thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. You know what that does? That us keeping the precepts diligently, looking at prophecy and matching it in today's time, we know the time that we're living in. Second Ezra 9:1. Because us keeping the precepts, we know what time we living in. We living in the same very time, the same time where the highest shall visit the earth.
This is 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Yeah. Read that one more time, bro.
He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Like I said before, and that's how we know what time we living in. We read the precepts, we read the prophecies, and then we watch. We stay diligent in watching the news, and we know, what's going on, what time we living in. And we living in the time of basically where the mirth is going to be taken away from America. World War III is going to happen. In your lifetime. America's going to be destroyed in your lifetime. Things in that manner. Go ahead. Start at Shalaki.
Yeah, I got a quick precept real quick. Yeah, this is Jeremiah 16, verse 8. It says, Thou shalt not also go into the house of feasting to sit with them to eat and to drink. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. And this is Jeremiah speaking to the children of Israel before the Babylonians came in and took them out. But right now we're prophesying of the downfall of America, and it's going to come a time where the Lord is going to straight up take the voice of mirth, the enjoyment right up out of this society, man, in a split second. And it's only going to take one event to help that thing manifest, man. It says, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth, the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, wherefore have the Lord pronounced all this evil against us, or what is our iniquity? Because Israel asked, why is this happening to us? But this is the explanation for it. It says, wherefore have the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us, or what is our iniquity, or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord our power? Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith the Lord, and have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law. And ye have done worse than your fathers, for behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his own evil heart, like they're doing right now as we speak, that they may not hearken unto me. So they said, the hell with the Most High, we ain't trying to hear his men. We gonna do what we want to do, and we're not gonna hearken after the Heavenly Father. So therefore, this evil is pronounced upon them, and their wickedness is more wicked than their fathers, man. This is utter complete wickedness.
They are their fathers. Yeah. That's the point. Yeah. They are their fathers. Because there's such thing in the Bible as reincarnation. So the scriptures talk about Exodus the 20th chapter. It mentioned that he said, the Lord said, I will visit thee in the 3rd and 4th generation, man. So, hey, man, the people that get the judgment now, they're getting the judgment for the sins that they committed in the past. Solomon said that in in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. He said, all goeth unto one place, and then after that, unto the place of judgment. And in another part, he said, what? I seen the place of judgment under the sun. So that's reincarnation, man. You know? So the Most High gave, that's why the scripture says what? That the Most High gave them unto their own heart's lust, to their own vile affection, man. That's why you see abominable things going on. That's why you see little children, you know, being grown as hell, man. You know? Because they're back, man. These little kids is back, and they acting accordingly because, you know, they back here to get their judgment, man. You know, essentially. Go ahead. Bring out whatever you got.
Yeah, 6. This is Matthew 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Yeah, basically a summary of Matthew, the 24th chapter. It tells you basically the end times. You know, the signs of the end times. And this is the time that we're living in. You know? Go ahead. Read that verse again.
Verse 20, Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled.
Yeah, it said we shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. You know, that's what's going on now. You know? Go ahead.
For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Yeah, because the very end is when Yahweh Shah makes his second return and America be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. But various other prophecies have to take place before that happens. For example, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. You know, Esau has to push that before the end. You know, before the end is come. Go ahead.
Continue.
Yeah.
Verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places.
Yeah, that's happening now. Nation shall rise up against nation. You got those Arab nations over there in the Gulf Coast states. They rising up against Qatar, man. You know, that's the example. You know, you got Syria. You got the United States bombing pro-Assad forces in Syria. You know. You got a lot of different things happening that's fulfilling these words. And Yahweh Shah said that's the beginning of sorrows. This is only the beginning of the sorrows of what's to come.
Yeah, because the lamentation is not as bitter right now. You know, somebody might lose their job. You know, they might get evicted, whatever the case is. And that's light. You know, that's really light as opposed to, you know, death, you know, famine, you know, all kind of pestilence, diseases. You know, you wake up, roll out of the bed, you know, go to the bathroom, come back, and then, you know, basically your spouse is breaking out and on some other shit, you know. Remember the scriptures talk about basically men's are gonna hearts are gonna fail, man. That's when it's really gonna hit the fan, man. Because you got people walking up and down the street, you know, it's everyday life right now, you know. But when all hell breaks loose, when the sorrows really kick in, you know, it's gonna touch souls, man. You know? Go ahead, y'all got it.
This is Daniel 12 and 2. No, verse 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth before the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be written in the book.
Yeah, no, that's it on that. Read verse 2 again.
Verse 1. Yeah. It says Daniel 12 and 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation.
Yeah, because like the brothers was going into, you know, the things that Jacob's going through now, that's nothing that's about to come, you know, in your lifetime. The things that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah got planned, the destruction, you know, for our people, the wicked people, and the rest of the heathen of the world, you know, the scripture says there's going to be a time like no other that was since, you know, and you had many bad things that happened back then, you know. Jerusalem was ransacked in 70 AD. You know, you had our people back then. Basically the Romans starved them so bad they was eating their own children. You know, cannibalism. You know, that's coming back, but it's even going to be on a worse scale. You know,
Hey, that scripture is so heavy that he just brought out because it's mentioned twice in the scriptures. It's mentioned in the book of Daniel, in Matthew 21, 24. Matthew 24, verse 21 says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor not ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." Because it's going to get so bad, it's going to seem like even the elect is going to get it. That's going to be an extreme test of faith when that time comes. You know, but those days have to be shortened. The scriptures talk about the righteous shall scarcely be saved. You know, that's how bad it's going to be out here.
Because you think about it, it's with a place like these people are in a zone, in a real comfortable zone right now. Now imagine when 911 completely is gone. You know what I'm saying? 911 is gone. When people got emergency, you know, somebody getting fucking gutted with a knife, getting shot down in the streets. You know, they ain't got nobody to depend on. They ain't got nobody to call. You know. So, you know, it's like what the brothers were saying, it's a time that's coming that's gonna be like no other time ever in history, you know? And only the elect is gonna scarcely be saved.
Yeah, you're gonna hear screams in the streets and nobody's gonna be coming to help. Nobody's gonna be coming to help or give consolation to the dead in that day, you know? Scriptures say the dead shall be cast out like dung. Nobody's gonna be able to bury the dead, you know? And then you're gonna have the vultures and the rats and the mice and the flies feeding off of dead bodies, you know? Which that's going to lead to pestilence too. Pestilence and diseases, you know? So it's going to be a culmination of a whole bunch of things to make, to fulfill Daniel's the 12th chapter, you know? A time of trouble such there was not a nation, you know?
This is Jeremiah 30, verse 7. It says, "Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble."
Read that again.
Jeremiah 30, verse 7. "Alas, for that day is great."
Yeah, that day is talking about the same day in Daniel's 12:2. You know, a day like that never existed on the earth. You know, terrible times is coming in your lifetime. You know, go ahead.
"So that none is like it."
Yeah, so that none is like it. Go ahead.
"It is even the time of Jacob's trouble."
Yeah, and that's the time that we're entering. You know, for our people, Jacob's trouble. You know, where only the elect is going to make it out of it. You know, the scripture said, like the brothers quoted earlier, the elect shall scarcely be saved. You know, go ahead.
It says, "But he shall be saved out of it."
Yeah, but the elect, you know, shall be saved out of it. The rest of you people, 2/3 of our people, the wicked 2/3 of our people, and the heathen, you know, and the Hebrew Gawayam, you know, the heathen, you know, you're not gonna make it, you know?
Hey, read that again and read up. Because it says, "I see every man with his hands on his loins."
Okay, I'm gonna start at 5. It says, "For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace."
And that's what we're proclaiming, a voice of fear and trembling and not of peace. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 6, "Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child."
Yeah, ask ye now, can a man have a baby? You know, that's what the scriptures imply. Can a man have a baby? Because that's going to be the distress upon men in those days that we're speaking about, you know? Go ahead.
"Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail."
Every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail. And you know what happens when a woman is in travail? You know how a woman's screaming and, you know, going through all those labor pains? Well, that's how the men are going to be in the time that we coming into, man.
That's right.
The time of death and destruction, the time of trouble, the time of fear, the time of sorrow. You know, because that's what's coming. That's the price you had to pay for living in a wicked society.
That's right.
You know, you accept homosexuality, you push it on the kids. There's a price to pay for that, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right. It says, "I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness."
All faces are turned into paleness. Men are not going to know what to do in those days. When they can't get nothing to eat, when these stores shut down, you know, when the society collapses, when the dollar tanks, when the global economy shuts down, men are not going to know what to do. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it.
Ultimately, the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord, when the Lord revealed himself in the heavens, in the sky with the chariots, pursuant to Isaiah 66 and 15, how the Lord shall come. He's going to come with fire with his chariots. That day is going to be a great day. And in that day, America's going to be destroyed. 60 minutes. That's all it's going to take for these countries to shoot their missiles on America. America's going to shoot their missiles back on these other countries. In the midst of this third world war, the angels and the Lord going to show up and reveal himself. And that's when men are going to be in pain. Men are going to be sorry. Men are going to be afraid.
It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
Yeah, that's the time of Jacob's trouble. That's going to come in the midst of the time of Jacob's trouble. You know, when martial law comes, when they implement the concentration camps, they already got the concentration camps here. They're putting immigrants in the concentration camps. And these people applauded it. Little did they know that they're going to be the new immigrants in the concentration camps. You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 37. It says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack.
Yeah, so these plagues that we're speaking about, the martial law, the famine, the pestilence, they're drawing near unto these people, man. Sirach, the 38th chapter, you know, because they're going to appease the wrath of the Heavenly Father, man. And they're going to come in the phase of famine, you know, of diseases, you know. And each one of those diseases have a body, they have a host that they're going to attach themselves to. And some of these people are going to be the hosts, you know, whether it be Ebola, whether it be SARS, all of these diseases that they make over there on Jekyll Island, or the Center for Disease Control, you know, because they got diseases going all the way back. They got the Black Plague in there, you know, because the government, these governments, every so often they thin the population. That's why you have your major world wars, World War I, World War II, World War III. Now, if you read the Georgia Guidestones, they say maintain humanity at 500 million. You know, so they got approximately 7 billion people on the planet Earth. That means a lot of people going to die, man. You know, that's the agenda that the elites are pushing for. You know, go ahead.
Verse 38, it says, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb.
Yeah, so these plagues are coming like a woman in travail. You know, she goes through her birth cycle up to 9 months, and then right before she gives birth, she's on all of that pain, contractions. They get closer and closer. You know, that's the pain that's going to come, and then the destruction is going to be when that woman gives birth, and she don't feel that pain no more. That's how the destruction of this society is coming. But that's going to usher in a new world where the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be in rulership with the one who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Right? You know, that's the irony about it, man. That's the beautiful thing about it. But before then, you got to go through this pestilence. You got to go through this hell that's about to take place, man.
It says, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. It says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Yeah, see, the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So while these people out here enjoying themselves, you know, going up and down the street, lollygagging, you know, about their own business, look, the plagues, the sorrow is going to come, man. You know, because the sorrow has to come. For Israel's sake, ultimately, everything that's happening is for Israel's sake, for the sake of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, the Lord got to fulfill His word, which He spoke aforetime by His servants, the prophets. And we are the Lord's servants, the prophets, coming out here week in and week out and pushing the words of the Lord according to the Bible, prophesying the downfall of this society. You know, because this society, these people with this all last week, you had the Comey investigation and everybody's talking about it, that's nothing but a distraction, man. Because something more sinister is in the play. And it could take place this fall, man. Lord's will, yeah, you know. Because sorrows and great travail have to come upon this society. You know, you people have to feel it. When the scriptures talk about there shall be dead bodies in the streets, well, some of you people are going to be those dead bodies in the streets to fulfill the words of the Lord, man. You know? Bring it up.
This is Amos 5 and 18. It says, woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Yeah, so you got people, these Christians, they desire the day of the Lord, but to what end of it is it for them? You know, the day of the Lord is going to be a dark day. It's going to be a lot of death when the Lord comes back. The Lord said he was coming back to bring fire and a sword, according to the Bible. All right? So you need to understand the truth of these scriptures, man. Instead of taking heed to what your pastor's saying, you know they're down with the government, man. 501c3. Go ahead, bring it up.
You got
What you want? You want something?
Read that back.
Just run it back. This is Amos 5 and 18. It says, woe to you that desire the day of the Lord.
Yeah, woe means destruction. You know?
To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Yeah, the day of the Lord is going to be dark, man. It's going to be a dark day when the Lord comes back, man. Because he gotta rectify this wickedness, man. You people's minds have been corrupted with the false philosophies, you know. You people think what's wrong is right, and what's right is wrong, man. You know. You people actually think that the Lord is dealing with sodomites, man. You know. That the Lord is dealing with bestiality, man. And this is what your society upholds. Corruption. Corruption, man. The Lord is coming back to destroy corruption, man. Y'all talk about how the corrupt politicians in this city, man. The Lord is coming back to dethrone the throne of the corrupt, man. You know? Go ahead.
I got something. I couldn't find it.
Oh, no. Well, here. Bring it up. You got it.
This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 15.
39.
Oh, 39, Shalak. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 15. It says, everyone that is found shall be